Hey guys, welcome back. Tisha here, back with our first ever review for £1,000 Roomies from TLC. And this is season 1, episode 1, Attack of the Snacks. My thoughts on this overall episode is I think that this is going to be a decent series. I found myself laughing at certain points as well as being concerned at others. And the fact that in the first episode, I'm feeling that way, it makes me feel like this may be a good series to go over. Here's my thing though. I can tell, and you all let me know what you think, that some of the scenes that we have seen are encouraged by TLC because there's no way that this woman that is huffing and puffing going to the pool in the apartment complex is not going to be huffing and puffing heading to a beach, walking in sand, sinking possibly in sand, because let's be clear, it's not easy to walk in sand, and at her weight, as they said, this could be a thing where they sink. But I do not feel like this is something that they would have even attempted to do had the cameras not been present. So let's go ahead and begin like the video. This is yet another £1,000 spinoff. In this series, we meet Jazz. She's the person on this video, on this picture, who is in the jean jacket. And we meet Nisha. She is the one who has on that lime green shirt. They are best friends that live in California and are now roommates. They met, they don't say how long ago it was. If they did, I missed it. But they met a while ago on a website that was designed for SSBBWs, which is the acronym for Super Size Big Beautiful Women, right? Nisha needed a roommate and Jazz stepped in on time. Jazz is 40 and she has been big, her words, all of her life. But her having heartbreak, her having a breakup made her even bigger. She turned to food in order to kind of like console herself. She says that she's tried many things to lose weight, many diets and things of that nature. And at this point, she's contemplating surgery. I already knew one of them had to be contemplating it, if not both of them, because we're not going to do a show called £1,000 Anything and not think that there's going to be a push of them to lose weight. So she has a daughter, Jazz does. That name is Nana. She's 9 years old. She found out when Nana was 3 years old that she is autistic. So there has been some challenges that have come along with raising Nana, especially because it seems like she's a single parent, but she says that she cherishes her baby. And you can tell that in this situation, it's not just her that cherishes her, but her best friend Nisha does as well. So we begin the episode with the ladies heading out to get some burgers. And this is where we get to see a little bit of their personalities because we got Jazz in the car rapping, and I'm not exaggerating. Dip, dip, dip. Now double dip. And the big belly itches, the big belly itches, the big belly itches. Like she's rapping. She is literally rapping in the car. And I'm going to show you a clip at the end that kind of shows you the whole season. Or this, I don't, it doesn't show the whole season. You know how they give you like a quick clip. So I'm going to give a quick clip and react to it so I don't get a copyright situation going on. But she's literally rapping in the car. And as they continue to go in the car for different scenes, this is what she does. This seems to be what they do. So they arrive at this spot that they're supposed to be going to, that they're so excited about, and they begin to order. Allow me to tell you the order. All right. You hear Jazz say, "Can we get a double double, no pickles? Let me get another double double with no tomato. Then I'm going to need an animal style double double, a vanilla milkshake, a chocolate milkshake, a 4x4 meal, and animal style fries. Oh, and a large root beer." Right? So let me tell you the kicker. I just told you all that crap, right? That she ordered, all that junk that she ordered. Do y'all know that that was only for her? because right after that, Nisha proceeds to say, I want the same thing. You can't be really doing this. This has to be for TLC. Tell me, you guys down below, do you think that this was for TLC, or do you think that these ladies actually order like that? I know they didn't get this size overnight, but to hear that order being read off and then to hear her say, okay, I want the same thing. I can't fathom them eating that much food. So these chicks have figured out while looking at the phone that they have ordered out that week alone 16 times. This is gluttony, in my opinion, at its finest, because why did you need to order out 16 times? We don't even know what part of the week it is, but 16 times? You gotta be going multiple times a day. That's insane. Because after they order all that food, they then proceed to eat in the car, talking about how good the food is. So we find out that the ladies have bonded over their struggles with being plus size women, that there are things that they experience that women or people of smaller sizes will never understand. They talk about the crevices and the creases and the things that they have to wash and or clean. They talk about, how with Jazz, she has multiple loofahs on a stick, one for her legs and one for her derriere and one for her, she's just talking about the different areas because there's a lot of folds and things of that nature that need to be cleaned. Jazz is the bigger one of the two, and she is not as mobile as Nisha. As a result of that, sometimes they have a little bit of conflict because Nisha is the one who does most of the cooking and cleaning. She does more than Jazz because Jazz can't stand up but for so long without being out of breath. Like a lot of times when we see her standing, she's kind of like leaned over. So, you would stand upright like this. She's like standing over like this because that's taking the pressure off of her back. I'm assuming she did it a lot. She did it before while she was waiting for the Uber. She did it while she was leaned over talking. She did it again when she went to the sushi place. The place that has rolls. When she went there, she did it there too. So we find out that not only does Jazz kind of struggle with her mobility, but she does not like to leave the house as much because of what it takes for her to leave the house. Her mobility, she says, she's noticing is getting worse with her age. I think it's more so the weight than the age at this point. We see them head to the pool, and as they're heading to the pool with Nana, the daughter, Jazz is out of breath. She is struggling. If you watch Thousand Pound Best Friends, when Scott was taking the hike and they carried the chair for him so that he can sit down in between time, that's exactly what happened in this situation. There was a chair that was being carried by by Nana, her daughter, as Jazz had to sit down and take breaths. She was sweating. She was out of breath. She really, really was struggling. And the distance of the pool really wasn't that far from the apartment. So they go to the pool and she gets in the water, and even that is a struggle. I noticed that there once again are things that I don't think about when it comes to this situation, because had the roles been reversed and I was going to the pool, I would have just jumped into the deep section and started swimming. Whereas for her, she had to ease her body in there, and then she had to think about what it was going to take in order to get out. She literally had to kind of like maneuver a little bit on the steps that take you into the pool, sit down on the concrete part, use the railing to kind of pull herself up while the chair was behind her. It was not an easy thing, right? So it's another day, and Nisha wants to now go to the beach. Jazz is dreading it because she does not like people staring at her or laughing at her or taking pictures of her. Nisha is just trying to convince the girl to go. So Nisha kind of, like her words, bribes her a little bit with some breakfast food to cheer her up. And these two are sitting here getting all excited about the breakfast food, taking the hash brown, talking some, yeah, you got to put the hash brown, you got to put it on there like this and then put it up there like this. And then they're doing a cheers like how you would if you're taking shots while they're eating the food. And they're really, really enjoying themselves eating the food. What we find out is, because I'm like, okay, how is it that you're paying these bills? How is it that you're eating up all this food? Because these things would cost money. We find out that even though she is uncomfortable going out in the public for people to look at her, Jazz is actually a plus size model. She has a social media following on well, I don't know if it's plus size websites or whatever. Either way, there are people who are specifically looking for her content. It didn't sound like OnlyFans, but it sounded like something maybe for people with fetishes or things of that nature, because she said that people are looking specifically for people who look like her, right? And she makes good money from it. So they prepare to go to Venice Beach, and they bring snacks and a chair to be able to hold Jazz, because Jazz is like, okay, so we go to the beach and where do we sit? Like, what do we do about the sand? You know, she's preparing herself to think about all the things that may happen as they're on this beach. So they're en route to Venice. They ate food before they left, but Jazz proceeds to pull out a bag of chips out of her titty because she says that she's nervous. And when she's nervous, she eats. The moment that they arrive at the beach, you can see her energy is changing. You can see her visible concern. You can see her looking around and her getting uncomfortable. So she, as Nisha pulls into park, starts crying, saying that she's embarrassed, that she doesn't want to get out, that she doesn't want people taking pictures of her. She just wants to go. While Nisha is just trying to get her to even think about stepping out of the car so that they could go towards the sand, because they can literally see the beach right there. So she doesn't want to go. So Nisha gets out the car and she walks, right? She's walking in the sand, and we see her kind of, be a little wobbly, but she doesn't fall. And she's telling us as she's walking, like, I hope I don't fall, because, I don't know if I'll be able to get up. We find out as she's walking that Nisha has always been fluffy as well. That with her, she grew up in a Christian cult in Long Beach, and that cult controlled a lot of things, including what they ate or whether they could eat at all. As a result of that, when she did get food after church, which would be after 4 or something like that, she said there were times where she would find herself binging. She would binge eat, which then created an even basically unhealthier relationship with food. So they were in that cult until she was 22 years old. Now, I don't know what made her leave the cult, what made the family leave the cult, but either way, they're out of the cult. But of course, if you've experienced that for so long, you're going to have some unresolved issues there too. And she does admit that she has some trauma that she's working through in regards to that. So as she's walking, I hear her squeal, like she's like, "Ah!" Like she's so excited. And it's not about anything that's going on the beach. It's the fact that she ran into a place that sells food, a place that has funnel cakes and some type of mozzarella, huge stick, and all these other things. So she's just really excited about the chicken tenders and everything else that she can get to order. So she ends up ordering a bunch of stuff, so much food that the person, not knowing who this food is for, puts 8 forks into the bag. That just gives you perspective on the amount of food that they're taking in, right? So she ends up getting a bunch of food, and she brings it to the car, and she wants to cheer up Jazz. She very much so does kind of enable Jazz a little bit, but at the same point, they enable one another. I don't know if the Roomies are going to be able to continue to be Roomies when it comes to Jazz wanting to lose this weight. So they basically go to the beach so that they can have a good view while they're eating, because the next thing you know, they're eating. So back at home, Jazz is talking to her daughter, and she's going over some multiplication and some arithmetic and stuff with her. And as they're talking, she's realizing that she's present for her daughter mentally, but she's not there for her physically. And she wants to be a better mother. So she says that she's decided that she needs to make healthier food choices. And she's going to start, now. So we go to the next day. It's her first day of eating healthy. And she's decided, along with Nisha, that they're going to go get sushi. So I'm guessing Nisha has another 9 to 5 job, because she said, Nisha, after work, we're going to meet up, meaning that she couldn't ride with Nisha there because she had to get a Uber. So Jazz school schedules a Uber XL, and the moment that it pulled up, she's looking at it like that's not an XL, but it is an XL because it's an SUV. It's just not XL enough for her because she's not only tall, but she's big and she got a lot of tail behind her. So she's looking at it and analyzing it like, you're supposed to be an XL. This is an XL. And he's like, it is an XL. And the gentleman is really nice. We've seen the clips on YouTube and other social platforms where Uber drivers have denied people to drive in their car because they say something about how they don't want you to mess up their tires. So the fact that he still allowed this extremely large girl to get in that car says that, he was about his business, about his money. So she doesn't think it's going to work. He tells her, I think it will. He ends up getting out the car, going to the passenger side to scoot the chair in front of her all the way up so that she can fit in. She gets in, and I cannot help but notice that she almost covers the entire back seat sitting there, which goes to show you how large she is, right? She gets to the place when she enters the sushi. Ugh, I always say it like that. The sushi. Y'all, I can't say it. The sushi. There we go. That restaurant. The booth has to be moved back for her because she can't fit in it. Now, they're supposed to be eating healthy, and her friend Nisha is like, yeah, this is going to be good. This is healthy food. Yeah, they're skinny. They're skinny because they eat this food. She says some somewhat concerning things. I'm not going to repeat exactly what she says, but you think just because they're a certain culture and they eat this food that they're going to be skinny. And she feels like these type of people are always skinny. So there's a conveyor belt that has the food. You have to grab the food as it comes past you to determine what you want to eat, right? So the stuff is moved back. She's sitting down. They have put so much stuff on their table that they're not even paying attention to what they're eating or the intake or the calories or the portions or anything of that nature. So after they eat, Jazz is like, you sure this is healthy, girl? You sure this is healthy? And Nisha's like, yeah, girl, it's healthy. The way she said, yeah, girl, I already knew. She even asked the guy and he said, it's healthy, but we have healthier options. Here's the thing. How much did he think you were going to eat? So we find out that they have already ate well over what would be a good caloric intake because 4 little rolls that she looked up was over 500 calories just for that. And one of the girls, Nisha, had 10 of those. So, just to show you what's going on there, right? Along with other things. So that's the end of that meal. It's another day. Jazz's friend Melinda, who at one point was larger and went on, I guess, a diet and decided to eat healthier, became a vegan, has lost 200 pounds. So Jazz has asked her to come over to help her kind of get started. Here's the thing. Being vegan does not mean that you're going to be small, right? I have family members who are vegan and vegetarian. I was a vegetarian for like 3 years. I did lose weight, but it wasn't for that. It was for healthier options with less junk in it. But the way things are now, everything has yeah, unless you're growing it yourself, you really don't know what you're eating. My point is, right? Being a vegan alone isn't why she lost weight. She did other things. So it's been 2 years since Jazz and Melinda have seen each other. So she comes in, they call each other baby mama. She's like, hey, baby mama. And she has her little dog with her and they embrace, and it is a long hug. And Jazz says that she knows that her friend Melinda is probably looking at her like, she can tell that she put on a bunch of weight because she has. And she even makes reference to it, which lets you know that she's uncomfortable because as her shirt rises, she tells her friend, like, I've put on so much weight that I can't even fit my stuff anymore. And her friend's like, how do you feel about that? And you can tell she's just tired of it. But her actions with the way she's eating isn't showing it. I got to put that out there. So Melinda's looking at her and she tells us that she's terrified for Jazz. So Melinda lets her know that, I don't want you to go through the things that I went through when it comes to this weight. She ends up grabbing a computer to pull up this calculator that determines your life expectancy. So she's asked her weight, her height, her age, how many times that she works out, things of that nature. And based on the input that they put into the computer, it is saying that her life expectancy is for her to be 44 years old. That would mean that at her current age of 40, she only has 4 more years to live, which hits Jazz in a different way. Jazz starts crying as she's thinking about the possibility of not being here to see her daughter grow up. Melinda tells them that they got to get it together, the both of them. Nisha claims she's going to do this with her, right? Nisha claims that it's a wake up call for her too, because she doesn't want this to be a thing where Jazz ends up passing or she ends up passing. So Nisha's going to do it, but Nisha doesn't want to have the surgery. So now it's another day. Jazz is going to talk to the doctor to see about weight loss surgery. She says she wants to live. It's been 2 years since she's been to the doctors. She lets the doctor know that she's all her daughter has and she wants to be there for her. We are told that without this surgery by the doctor, that her heart, her lungs, and her joints will suffer. They're already suffering in some ways, at least her joints are. Now, we don't know about her other organs, but with her bending over and her pausing and things of that nature, it's having an effect on her joints. I can always tell, right? Because my weight fluctuates a lot, especially if I don't do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, medication and everything else aside. I can always tell when I put on too much weight, because what happens to me is my lower back hurts when I'm walking distant, right? Like your body has a way of telling you stuff. So I think for Jazz, her body's been telling her a long time that it's too much for her to carry and she hasn't done anything about it. But hopefully we see her succeed in this. So the doctor lets her know that this is going to become even more challenging if something doesn't happen. So they end the episode with her preparing to step on the scale. And of course, we don't get to see what's on the scale because they want to leave us hanging. So I want us to quickly look at what's to come on the show. I'm going to play that. I'm going to pause it for the sake of not getting hit with anything, and then we'll go from there. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and pull this up. Okay, here we go.
Going to the beach. Got the fat heights with the bodies going to the beach. I am Jazz, the most amazing. You were supposed to say me too.
Oh, okay. You see what I mean about how she raps and says stuff. Going to the beach. She raps and stuff. They're very playful. They're very jokey, which to me kind of makes me like them. But I'm still side eyeing them about some of their choices.
Nisha, we're roommates.
We're both a little extra, nearly 1,000 pounds extra. Can Miss Nisha go in the house with you guys?
The only thing we love more than food in this world, that's it right there, is my daughter Nana.
I got a surprise.
Oh, no, you did.
We love each other like sisters, but that does not mean that we agree on everything.
I was able to crawl my fat ass to the car. I was able to
Stop
shrink
acting like you was crawling.
I wasn't going to let you just put.
You see her in this seat. This seat doesn't look like the seat that she was in when she was in the Uber, because in here she's sitting sideways. In the Uber she was straight on, and she was a lot. She got a lot behind her, right? But you see what I'm saying here with their dynamic, and you can see that they're both large, and you can see that, to me, at some point they may not be on the same page when it comes to this weight loss. Let's keep going.
Crawl in your little ass car. We've tried so many things to lose weight. Ew, what's in the bowl?
I'm making us a drink.
What's it? But now it's time to get busy. I'm all my daughter has. I have to be here for her.
If Jasmine doesn't undergo the surgery, most likely she will not survive for long.
Surgery is something that scares the out of me. It would be easier if you was doing this with me.
See what I'm saying? I do not think that Nisha is going to jump on board with this. I think that this may be a thing where Jasmine is doing this by herself.
Wait, but that doesn't mean I have to be stuck on the scale all the time.
I've been taking the weight loss shot. I don't like that shot. I'm in pain.
And it's the leg.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, she's losing the weight, but at what cost?
I am in so much pain. I'm really trying my best to hold on.
I just want everything to be okay.
Nisha, I'm scared. Yeah. Never gonna be able to walk again.
Time 9:30.
I don't know what happened to her, but I know that it's a wake up call.
You see? Yeah, I think that this is to be a good season, you guys. I don't know. Something is telling me that, well, I hope I'm right. Let's be clear there. I hope I'm right and that this is going to be good. But I think that it's going to be good. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this episode. As I said, sorry that it's late, but I had so much going on. I got so much going on this week too. Oh, it's a lot, but I'm here nonetheless. Anyways, I'm enough of me rambling. Until next time.